All right, welcome to the Kiss Army Things podcast. This is episode 47. You're with Xander.
And Daphne.
Thank you, everybody, so much for being here. I just want to take a moment to obviously say thank you to everybody who's watching our podcast. If you've subscribed or anybody who maybe you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, just want to say thank you to everybody who watches our show and follows us. And if there's anything in your life that is out of your control, maybe you're distracted by something or something's on your mind, hopefully you can find some relief in these moments, in this time together. Obviously, our podcast is just meant to be fun. It's entertaining. We're talking about Kiss. We love Kiss, and so Kiss brings us a lot of joy, and we want to bring that joy to you as well. So hopefully everybody will join us in having a good time and a good episode talking about Kiss. Daphne, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Again, like he said, thank you guys for watching. Positive vibes only around here on the Kiss Army Things channel. So
yeah, and the reason why we're extra positive is because we've been getting over a really bad cold this past week, the past couple days. So if we sound a little nasally, it's because we're just getting over a cold. But now that we're getting cleared up, it's just we're automatically in a good mood.
Yep.
And it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since we've filmed. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe
it does feel like a while. I think we wanted to film this episode maybe about a week or so ago, and just because of how we were feeling, we couldn't do it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get back into it.
Yeah, our episodes always go up on Sunday, and it's Saturday. So that means that the rest of the day I have to edit this and get it up on YouTube so everybody can watch it tomorrow on April.
Yeah, normally we give him a week to edit, but it's going to be a quick turnaround this time.
It'll be April 2nd this goes up. So happy April 2nd, everybody. Easter's coming up. The springtime is in the air, thank goodness.
Yes.
Hopefully, if you're like us and you're getting over the sickness, you just put it in the past. We'll have the rest of the spring and summer to look forward to. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about today. I don't know if it's going to be a 2-hour episode or if we're just going to bang out these topics, boom, boom, boom. Either way, it's going to be jam-packed. But first, appropriately, we'll start off with the Kiss Spotlight. Daphne, what is the Kiss Spotlight?
The Kiss Spotlight is what we do every single episode right at the beginning, where we just shout out whatever Kiss album or Kiss-related media of some kind that we've been really into recently, whatever we've been jamming, and just put a spotlight on it.
Yeah, it's a fun thing that Jeb came up with, I think, actually.
I love it.
Almost a year ago. We're almost at our 2-year...
really?
2-year mark.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But that was something Jeb came up with. And it's very fitting because obviously Kiss is a band. They make music.
Yes.
They play music, so we talk about the music. And would you want to start us off?
I would love to. So my Kiss Spotlight this week, I've got it with me, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull it out, is Crazy Nights. And if you've been watching for a while, you know that this is one of my favorite albums. I love it so much. It has one of my, if not my number one favorite Kiss song on it, which is I'll Fight Hell to Hold You. I'm obsessed with it. I can't get enough. Paul's voice on this album is just chef's kiss. So good. And it just has some of my favorite Paul songs in general. Like, My Way has really been my favorite recently that I've been listening to on repeat, like, every day. I just absolutely love that song. It's so empowering. His voice is so good. It's just such a good, like, scream in your car kind of song.
For sure.
I love it. Reason to Live is also a good scream in your car song. It's one of my top favorites as well.
That's the one that made it to Kiss 40.
That's true, yeah. But we also have some great Gene songs on here. Hell or High Water.
Yes.
And what's the other one? Good Girl Gone Bad. Those two are my top 2 Gene songs on here.
I think Gene gets a lot of like crap for his 80s songs, but
when
you listen to it...
Bang Bang. Well, that's more Paul.
That's Paul, but but no, listening to Hell or High Water and those are good Gene songs.
They really
They're
are.
not like, demon songs, but they don't need to be.
No, they don't
They're
need to be.
Good. Gene can do a lot of different styles.
Absolutely, and
it's
I think
a really good song.
And Crazy Nights is just the perfect 80s party song. It's a perfect album opener. You just hear that beginning, and it just really gets you hyped up for the album. I just think it's a really good. Anytime the weather starts to get nicer like this, and this is the kind of album that I want to listen to when I'm jamming in my car.
The fun ones.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I love it. It's a feel good album. And that is my spotlight this week.
I'm still really disappointed in both Jeb and I, mainly myself.
Oh, for not getting
I'll
Fight Hell to Hold You in the song challenge?
Yeah, the Kiss song challenge.
I was disappointed too.
I
put it in there for a reason.
Yeah, and I listened to it that day, the day of the challenge.
I remember you saying
like,
that.
I bet she's going to throw this in there, and so I'm going to go ahead and get myself familiar with it. But Must have jinxed myself.
I just picked a tough spot, I guess.
Yes, you did. Now, I will... Now, notice now this CD is sealed, okay? This is not the one that she was listening to. This is my copy. My CDs are... A lot of them, not all of them, or most of them are sealed, but I'm assuming the one that you listened to was your copy.
Yes.
In the car. Okay, yeah. So, obviously, that one's sealed. Anyway, so is that it for your spotlight?
Yes, that's mine. What are you spotlighting this week?
I have a couple.
Okay.
I have a couple. Now, the main one is... Let me get it here. Is the Destroyer box set.
Oh, nice. Okay.
March, we're at the... Well, that's now the beginning of April. But we were going to film this at the tail end of March.
Right.
And, of course, March is when Destroyer was released. And so I wanted to bust out the box set and give it a listen, because obviously when you spend a lot of money on something like this, you want to enjoy it as much as you can. You don't just get it, do your review,
right,
make your video and post it. No, I was like, I need to get this back out, open it back up, start digging through it, and I've actually got the big hardcover booklet sitting out over here, because I actually didn't get too deep into that one. When the Creatures box set came out,
you really dug into that.
I read that hardcover book in 3 days,
Yeah.
just over, kept reading it and had my face glued to it. But for some reason, because I think we're all mostly familiar with the Destroyer era,
Yeah.
I was like, there's not much in there that I'm going to learn. And there still really isn't a whole lot, but just to immerse myself in the history, I wanted to go back and read that book. So I haven't quite finished it, but I'm going to finish that. But as far as the box set goes, I was listening to some of the CDs, especially the demos.
Those are cool.
Alternate takes. I really enjoy
Yeah.
the demos still. That's my main takeaway from these box sets is a lot of that extra. I mean, obviously you get a lot of physical material, a lot of the goodies, which is great. But obviously the music and the demos and all that is,
I just love the look of these box sets. Like they add this like shiny kind of sheen to the top of them, because it was the same for Creatures, and they just look so nice.
They do.
I don't know if you can see on camera, but
I'm sure most fans have them.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, but I just really appreciate the packaging and the design. It's awesome.
Yeah,
right, you
absolutely.
said you have two though. What's your second one?
Yeah, so that was the first one. The other one is kind of random, but it's Kiss World, which I think I've spotlighted it before. But if I'm being honest, that's the one that I did listen to a lot recently. I've been, usually a lot of fans, myself included, we're always kind of like, there's too many greatest hits, there's too many best subs and compilation records. But I still listen to them. I still love them, especially Kiss World, because it's like kind of like putting a playlist on shuffle.
Yeah.
You hit shuffle and you let whatever play. But if you're somebody who doesn't listen to streaming, or maybe you can't listen to streaming, like in my car, my aux cord is messed up and my Bluetooth isn't that great. So I like CDs. Way better quality with CDs.
Definitely.
And so listening to Kiss World is kind of like, and listening to the record on the turntable, it's kind of like listening to a Kiss, on shuffle.
Yeah, and it's like a nice Kiss playlist that covers a lot of eras. So yeah,
and that's what I like about Kiss World too, is because it wasn't just like, let's put half the first album and half of Destroyer on it and call the greatest hits. It's like, let's actually sprinkle in a lot from all eras. And so
I like that.
I think it has Unholy. It
has
really? Crazy Nights.
Okay.
Barney Delilah.
Wow.
Hell or Hallelujah. It has all kinds of stuff.
That is a good mix.
It has some tracks with Anton Fig and Bob Kulick on it, so it has even, some members who aren't official members, but were still big key players on Kiss's records. So
definitely.
I like Kiss World, but anyway, those are the two, mainly the Destroyer box set that I wanted to spotlight. And then, of course, Kiss Army. Let us know what you've been jamming to, what you've been listening to in the comments below. And we're going to move on because, like I said, we have a lot of topics to cover today. How quickly, I don't know, but I want to get to all of them, including the one that was pretty surprising to me. So we all know that Kiss is going to be heading out on their final 50 dates.
Yes.
The last handful of shows this year. Recently announced was Skid Row is going to be opening for Kiss in Europe. And I don't know if that's like big news to everybody, but like other than I think David Lee Roth, that is for a small moment there.
Yeah, for a minute.
That's the only musical act that Kiss has had join them on this end of the road tour. Now I said that, and immediately I thought they had Wolfmother opened a couple shows in Australia,
true.
But that was just a couple shows in Australia. They haven't really had any musical acts joining them, and so Skid Row is going to be opening in Europe. And I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, it honestly surprised me a little bit, but I think it's pretty cool.
I think so too. I haven't been as familiar with the current Skid Row lineups, So I know they have a new lead singer who apparently is doing really well.
Good.
And I think that might have a new album that they're supporting. I'm not sure. But either way, just to see another artist, a big name artist, joining Kiss is fantastic. I even heard that Deep Purple is going to be joining Kiss in, I think, South America, some South American dates.
I had not heard that, actually.
I think there's a couple festivals, actually, where it's Kiss, Scorpions, Deep Purple. And again, just to see some of these bands joining Kiss is awesome. So I would ask, what does the Kiss Army think? Do you guys have tickets to some of these shows? I know we have viewers from not just here in America, but or North America, but all over the world. So, let us know if you're excited. I'm not going to be able to see any of these dates. Although I did hear, I think maybe Doc mentioned in some recent interview that there may end up being an opening band for the North American dates.
Oh, okay.
Nothing confirmed yet.
Interesting.
But I did hear that possibly for our shows and some of the other shows, there might be an opening band. Whether it's, Skid Row or Deep Purple or somebody else, I don't know. But it just kind of makes me wonder who they would choose or could choose. Gene did an interview recently where he was talking about how, we wanted to have everybody up on stage. We wanted to have all these artists from country to rock. And then we said, no, we're just going to end it with, 2-guitar drum and bass, which is the smartest way to do it.
Yeah, it's fair.
But I was just like, why would Gene say, we're going to have we want to have all these people join us? It just makes no sense. But it makes me wonder if it's possible that, somebody would join Kiss on stage. It's only happened a handful of times.
Yeah.
Joe Perry from Aerosmith joined him in 2003 for Strutter, and then Phil from Def Leppard joined him in 2014. Other than that, nobody's really joined Kiss on stage in makeup in that capacity. So will it happen? I don't know. But I'm just wondering if there will be any opening act for these North American dates. Do you have any thoughts, any comments on that?
I mean, like you said, I was kind of surprised when they even announced Skid Row. So, but I would like to see somebody, especially for our show in November. I would like to see somebody open up. I don't know who it would be. I'm
trying to think just of like active artists.
Rock bands. I mean,
Alice Cooper.
Styx is still touring. I think that would be pretty
Styx,
cool.
Yeah. The ultimate, and this would never ever happen, but the ultimate would be Judas Priest.
Oh.
If Judas Priest and Kiss were
That'd
on the
be
same
crazy.
bill, I would probably, that would be a good bill. I'm not a huge Judas Priest fan. I'm not going to pretend like I'm some big Judas Priest fan, but I know who Priest is.
Right, and you can't deny their live act.
And no. Yeah, no, Rob Halford, Metal God. I mean, it's like, you can't get any better than that. So
another one that I don't think would happen, but would be really cool, would be a newer, younger band like Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah,
because I know they have opened up for Metallica quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool. But, they're getting pretty successful in their own right with their own tours as well. So
it would be pretty daring for Kiss to have Greta Van Fleet because we saw Greta Van Fleet.
That'd be a dream show for me, though.
And Greta...
But their show is pretty wild.
They put on a show.
They do.
Because, they're not old guys.
No, they're 20s.
They're young guys. Yeah. And they can, no offense, but, like, they still have, full power vocals.
Full energy.
Physical abilities.
Yeah.
They're put on some goods. I think maybe for now, Greta Van Fleet just needs to do their own thing.
Yeah, like I said, I don't see it happening, but it would be a dream show for me.
However, now that you said that, I wish I had maybe, made a note of this. But I was clicking through some of the dates on Kiss Online just to see who the opening bands were, like how many shows Skid Row's going to be there for.
Yeah.
How many, shows will Deep Purple, be opening for Kiss 4. And I was wanting to know, just clicking through some of these dates, and I noticed that on the UK dates, they have a couple opening bands, but they're not like a, co-headlining status band.
Okay.
I wish I could remember the names of these bands, but it sounded like there were a couple younger bands.
Okay.
That were going to be...
Ones you potentially hadn't heard of?
No, bands I'd never heard of.
Okay.
But seemed like were maybe some of the young, up-and-coming, locally famous bands.
I would love to see that.
That's what I want to see, too, is Kiss do that. And I'm going to pay... I think it's the UK dates.
Okay.
I'm going to watch these UK dates very closely, maybe find some footage online and see, because Kiss is bringing out 2 what could be, I think, young and up-and-coming bands. Maybe they're not, young, but there are new bands.
But not as big yet.
We saw Dead Daisies.
That's true.
In 2016. They were fantastic. They had a couple, I think, an album or two out at the time. And,
they were very loud.
That's what I remember. Dude, they were insanely loud. A little too loud.
But they were great.
But yeah, so I like to see Kiss do that.
Yeah. I agree.
And other than David Garibaldi, which, by the way, has been great in and of itself, they've raised so much money for charity. Absolutely. It's unbelievable. Good for them. But yeah, no, I think we need something new, something fresh. We're going to see some opening bands for Kiss. And then, again, maybe, who knows who will be in the States. I don't know if it was, I forget which band it was that did this, but I feel like there was some band, some big name band, that tried to have a new opening band for every night of the tour.
Interesting.
A band that was particular to that area.
Okay.
Was it Greater Than Fleet? Didn't Greater Than Fleet have artists that were, like, local?
It wasn't every show, though.
Not every show, but they did have...
They did have some...
They had several artists,
local.
Because I know that when we saw Greater Than Fleet, they had a couple artists, and then there was one in particular that was from Indiana.
That's true.
That had never been on tour with a band like that.
I wish I could remember what they were called, but I know
that was
what
really
you're
cool.
talking about.
It's cool to see, bands passing it on like that. And I know, Kiss, once you get to a level like Kiss, I feel like when we saw Kiss with Motley Crue, instead of it being like, wow, we just saw two great bands on the same bill, it was, Motley Crue blew Kiss off the stage. What? No, Kiss, man, they stomped Motley Crue.
Right, it's a competition.
Yeah, it's a competition.
Yeah.
It's almost like when we listen to, like, rap songs, and it's like everybody's always trying to pin one verse up against the other verse, and it's like, it's the same song.
Right.
It's
a collaboration.
It's a collaboration.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a together thing.
Yeah.
So some of that stuff, I mean, I get on one hand, but it makes no sense. It was the same with Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the same with Poison back in 2004, but I feel like, with these Skid Row dates, like, Skid Row's going to blow Kiss off the stage. Or it's like, Kiss, man, they destroy anybody. Why would Kiss have anybody? They're in a league of their own. It's like, yes, but it's cool to see other artists join other bands. Plus, it just brings more people in.
Yeah.
More people are going to go see some of these shows. Not that Kiss needs it, we know that. But still, the more the merrier, I think.
Yeah, and I honestly, I'm really liking what you're saying about potentially getting either younger or just newer up-and-coming artists, because obviously, Kiss is on their way out as far as touring goes, and they have, this legacy and this longevity and everything, and I think that would be a really great way to kind of use their audience and their influence to shine a spotlight, if you will, on some younger artists and some up-and-coming artists. That way Kiss fans can discover, these newer bands and start supporting them as well.
Yes.
I think that's great, and I actually think I would personally rather see that than see them, tour with, Styx or whoever, or whatever big band. As much as I love those bands have audiences, already and have forever. So that would be really cool to see some newer artists get some support from a band like Kiss.
Yeah, you hit a good point, because remember when, we saw, what tour was that? I think it was the 40th anniversary tour, 2014, when before they had Dead Daisies in the second half, they had, was it Caleb Smith, or what was his name?
Caleb.
They had Caleb from American Idol.
Was it Smith? Johnson. Yes, for that, it was on American Idol. Yeah,
Caleb
he
Johnson.
did. I forgot that he did open up for them for a minute. That was pretty cool. I was sad because we just barely missed it, I think.
Yeah.
I think his little leg of the tour stopped like right before we were gonna see them.
Yeah, and he obviously did a great job on American Idol. Mm-hmm. I don't think he was the winner, was he? Or did he win?
He was the winner,
He was the winner, okay.
Yes, he was.
Well, obviously, unless you're Kelly Clarkson or somebody, AI isn't going to do much for you.
Not anymore, not these days.
American Idol isn't going to do much for you, even though you are on TV and your name is being projected out there. If they give you a record deal, it's going to be within their confined, so for Kiss to say, hey, why don't you come on the road with the big boys?
Yeah, because
and play in front of 20,000 people every night.
They performed with him on Idol, remember that? At the finale, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, that was really cool that they took him out. That was neat.
Yeah, I mean, that was totally good for him, to be on Idol and to be with Kiss, but I think, to give him that touring experience and to give him that platform.
Definitely.
That's what I think Kiss and bands like Kiss should be doing, because so many bands like Kiss and Kiss fans keep consistently complaining that rock is dead and there are no more rock bands. It's like, okay, yes there are, but bands like Kiss aren't putting them up, aren't giving them the platform to do it. And, Kiss was an opening band once themselves.
True.
It took, bands that Kiss opened for to, give them the push. So, obviously, at some point, you need to give back. And Kiss has given back over the years.
Yeah,
obviously,
definitely.
Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, all those bands have opened for Kiss. But especially in this newer age, though, where bands need it the most, it would be awesome to see Kiss, propel a new artist. So I'm interested to see. Again, I wish I had made note of who those bands were for the UK dates. But if you're somebody who's going to go see those UK dates, let me know if those are bands that you've heard of or that are popular in your area. Maybe they're not, and they, we'll see. But anyway, that's all I had as far as some of the opening bands. Let's talk about one of the other topics I had, which was the Spinning Gold movie that we've been anticipating for a while. So it is actually out now. It was supposed to have not been out when we were going to film this episode.
Yeah.
But it's actually now out. It came out, I think, yesterday for us. So that's something that we need to get out and see. Of course, this is the movie that revolves around the life of Neil Bogart, specifically his launch of Casablanca Records, which we all know is a record label that was home to Kiss, Donna Summer, The Village People, lots of great acts, legendary acts, and so this has been a long time in the making. This movie, I think it goes back to 2010.
I was gonna say I feel like I've heard you talking about it for a while now.
Yeah, and I was reading some articles about how that's been a kind of a long process getting this movie to get done, but I'm glad that it's coming out and it's out now, because people like Neil Bogart, I don't think quite get I don't know if it's respect, but they don't.
The recognition.
They don't get the recognition and acknowledgement that they deserve, because we look at guys like Kiss. It's like, oh man, those guys, they were so smart and so intuitive, and well, no, not really. They were being helped by guys like Neil and Bill, who had been in the industry, and kind of knew what it took to get a band to that level. And Neil, I think, was a songwriter, had written some several pop hits, and then in turn became this big mogul, this record label owner, and then launched several other careers, including Kiss. Which, so it's Neil is one of the big reasons why we're even here today doing this podcast. It was because he took a chance on Kiss. Bill Aucoin took a chance on Kiss. They knew what Kiss could be, what Kiss should be, and they put all their heart, soul, their money into making sure it happened. And so we, as have not seen this movie, but this is something that we are determined to go see.
Absolutely, and I know Jeb is hoping to come down and see it with us, so hopefully we'll be doing a video on that here shortly.
I hope so. I do want to do a review. I know that when the first trailer dropped, it kind of left a weird taste in my mouth, because I was looking at Kiss, but I was not looking at Kiss. I was looking at Kiss with maybe foggy glasses, or maybe through another lens, or a different universe, different multiverse. I was like, what is this? But I guess they were going for I guess they're trying to show how, in the early days, Kiss's makeup wasn't what it ended up being.
Right.
And so they're kind of taking artistic freedom, a little bit of, stylistic freedom, and depicting Kiss's makeup, which, whatever. I still look at that and know it's Kiss.
And there was we all know there was a lot of trial and error, until they landed on the final design, so... Yeah, so fair enough.
Because they did have Gene and Paul involved, and, as, consultants, and, but I think they did take the movie approach and, have people... Okay, because I don't think the average Kiss fan is going to go see this. This is not a Kiss movie.
Right.
It's a Neil Bogart movie.
Right, they're just... they have a part in it.
Yeah, so I think, this is more for the average moviegoer, the average music fan.
Right.
Anybody's going to look at that and say, oh, well, that's Kiss.
Right.
The guy's got the tongue sticking out. You have the light-up logo with the lightning bolts for S's. You've got the, Kiss fans will know they got the candelabra or whatever on stage. It's very much Kiss Alive, which is a little bit, obviously, a couple of years after Neil became involved. But, again, visually speaking, the Kiss Alive era is much more recognizable to our eyes and everybody else's eyes. So that's why I think they chose to go with the Alive era, is because it's more familiar, even though it was a couple years off as far as the actual timeline.
You're taking some liberties, but I understand why.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a few liberties taken. It says based on a true story.
Right.
The idea is that, Neil Bogart became the owner of Casablanca, launched the record label, and then, subsequently launched the careers and helped project these stars into superstardom.
Yeah.
That's the movie. It's not, is every piece of Kiss's costume and makeup to the most finite, detail.
Right, that's not what it's about.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
And if you're going into it with that mindset, you might as well not even pay for the ticket.
Don't go to nitpick.
Which, again, I don't think there are a lot of Kiss fans that are going to go see this. I think it's rubbed them the wrong way and then whatever. But I think the average moviegoer, the average music fan, 70s music fan, if you're a fan of Donna Summer and the Village People. I know disco was huge.
I was going to ask, are those other artists supposed to be kind of featured as well? Okay,
yes.
I'll be interested to see that.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know a lot about Neil, so I'm actually excited just to kind of learn about this backstory.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks interesting.
I've already heard people, obviously there's always going to be complaints. I've already heard people complaining about the casting of Kiss and the casting of Donna and how they were, portrayed, but I'm sorry, it's not a movie about Donna, it's not about Kiss, it's about Neil.
And also,
as far as I can tell, they nailed Neil, because there's very limited audio and visual, evidence, I guess, of Neil. Mm-hmm. He was the guy mostly behind the scenes, doing all the stuff. But from what I can tell, he was a very enthusiastic man, very smart, very intelligent. He knew how to market. His ability to market was for better or for worse, whether it was costly or not. It was unprecedented, and so I think that's what we're going to get from this movie. Obviously, his sons were the ones, and his ex-wife were the ones that were involved in making this movie. So if anybody knows Neil, it's going to be Tim. Tim Bogart is his son.
Interesting. I didn't realize that the family was that heavily involved.
Yeah,
That's
Joyce was I think co-owned the label with Neil, and even co-managed Kiss with Bill. So Joyce had a hand in all this as well. So I think even though there are some creative liberties and some artistic liberties taken to make a movie, we're gonna get a good story about that celebrates Neil and Casablanca Records.
Yeah, and what people need to keep in mind too is that you also can't judge a movie just based on the trailer you've seen so far. Even if you don't think the actors that were chosen for certain parts look the part, that's ultimately not what it's about either. It's about the acting and the way that they're able to portray the character. And sometimes the right person for the job is not somebody who's a duplicate look-alike of Paul Stanley, you know what I mean?
Or even Neil.
Exactly. They don't need to look exactly like them in order to portray the heart and spirit and character of that person. Yeah,
because Justin Timberlake was going to be...
I remember you said that.
Neil Bogart. Yeah. At one point, he was the lead role.
Yeah.
And in my mind, JT doesn't look anything like Neil Bogart. I mean, I'm sure, you could make him look...
Yeah.
Give him the Neil Bogart makeover. But I was still thinking, I bet JT, his personality, I bet he could bring out the Neil Bogart and make that character come to life.
Yeah.
So even though you wouldn't think that would be the best choice, and it wasn't the choice in the end, I was still interested to see that. As far as the guys who play Gene and Paul, I just think it's great that they're even including Kiss's story altogether. There's a scene where, they're talking to Neil. It's like, why us? And he's like, because there were two guys from Queens who wanted to be the next gods of rock. Yeah. And, so we're going to see some nice intimate moments between Neil and Kiss that we haven't ever seen and we'll never see in real life.
Right.
Obviously, these events were never actually filmed for real, so we're going to get a dramatized version of it. But still, I'm going to go and I'm just going to immerse myself in it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm going to get a big bag of popcorn. We're going to go to a theater with reclining seats. Yes. We're going to sit back and I'm going to watch a movie about my favorite record, producer.
We love going to movies.
Yes, absolutely. But to see a movie about Neil Bogart and Kiss on the big screen, I can hardly find a reason to complain.
Yeah.
I mean, I could if I wanted to, because I'm a Kisstorian just like anybody else. I want everything to line up and be correct. But I'm going to look at it through the lens of, and the average person who is not like me and isn't invested in Kiss, they're going to see just what it took to get my favorite band to the level that they are today. You know, that's what I hope everybody gets from this movie. It's like, wow, look at guys like Neil who, don't get the recognition that they deserve.
Right.
And, you know, look at what it takes to, look at what it took to get a band like that to that level. So I'm excited to see Spinning Gold, about Neil Bogart and, you know, Kiss, and even get to learn about some of these other artists who, I'm not a big disco guy, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say I am, but I'm still going to enjoy the movie and enjoy seeing what it has to offer. So hopefully everybody out there, you know, will, you know, get out and, you know, support, obviously, your local theater.
Yes, please.
But
keep our theaters alive.
Support filmmakers and support seeing Kiss in some way, shape, or form on the big screen.
Yeah. And if you've seen it, because obviously by the time this is out, the movie is out. So if you guys saw it opening weekend, definitely let us know what your thoughts were in the comments. And we definitely will be sharing our thoughts as soon as we see it.
Yeah, ideally, the next episode we do will be a quick, just Spinning Gold review.
Yeah.
I would love to do that because, again, I love seeing this kind of stuff taking place. I think this is where we're at as far as Kiss's career. They're going to be ending it. They're they're on the road days. So what happens? Well, they're going to be immortalized and memorialized in film and in documentaries. We saw the A documentary come out.
Yeah.
You know, that was a great almost 50-year celebration wrap up of the band. The next thing on my list is the Kiss biopic.
Oh yeah.
That's coming out in 2024 on Netflix.
So do we have an official date in 24?
Not an official date, but Doc McGee said that's something that we can look forward to in 2024.
Okay, so next year. Okay.
I think that was something that Jeb and I, way back in episode 1, were talking about.
Yeah, I would say we've been talking about that forever.
When it first got announced that there was going to even be a Netflix special about Kiss. And so we've been kind of waiting to see. I'm not going to lie, I thought that once that was announced, like they would try and shop that around. Somebody would maybe pick it up like Netflix. They would get somebody attached to it, and then it would just kind of fall apart. Kind of like that other documentary they were going to do. It was called You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best documentary. That never came to be. It was like, yep, we're putting it together. Everything's done. We're gonna shop it around, and it never happened. So I was like, I'm just going to wait and see. But to hear Doc say, nope, the production's green lit. Filming is going to begin soon with a release on Netflix in 2024.
Interesting.
It's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Again, this is one of those things where as Kiss fans, you got to watch your expectations.
Right.
Because when it comes to these biopics, you know, yes, it's a dramatized version that's meant to be film. It's film. You know, these filmmakers aren't like us.
Right.
Filmmakers are not fans. There's a clear distinction. You know, they're looking at what's best on camera through the lens, through the eyes of the viewer. Whereas probably you and I are looking at it through the lens of a Kiss story. You know, going page by page, book by book, making sure it's to the T. What happened with Kiss? It's not going to happen. And
liberties are always taken. I mean, we've seen a lot of biopics in the last few years, especially. There's been a big surgence in them.
Yeah.
Like the Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen one. There was the Motley Crue one. There was an Elton John one.
Weird Al.
Oh yeah, well that's a little different. That is a parody in and of itself, which I adore, and I still really want to see that.
Yeah, I respect that.
But with all these other ones, even though they were pretty well received by the general public, and got a lot of people out to the theaters.
Oh yeah.
I do hear from fans.
Their core fan base is always like, oh, that's not how it went. No, that's
even
not.
with the Queen one, like there's a lot of things that were historically inaccurate. But like you are saying, that's not really the goal. It's not meant to be perfectly accurate of how things went down.
And it can't be.
Even if it tries
according
to be, it can't be.
According
exactly.
to who?
We
everybody experiences something
different. We know,
different.
Especially like in history, that
there's 4 sides to one story.
Exactly. Everybody's viewpoint is different. Everybody's memories are flawed because we're human.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even necessarily mean that people are lying. It's just that, these people have lived long lives and have experienced a lot of things.
It's entertainment.
And yeah, I was going to say, the movies are entertainment. So definitely manage your expectations. Yeah. But I'm still really interested to see, like, casting, if they're going to choose, like, well-known actors, or if they're going to be, I kind of hope it's unknown people, like up-and-coming actors. I think that would be really interesting. But yeah, I have really no basis or ideas of how this is going to go. So, like, do we even know what it's going to be focusing on? Is it going to be the longevity, or is it just, like, a certain era?
Rightfully so. They are not going to try and cover all of history.
Well, good.
That would be
impossible.
A large undertaking for a 1.5 hour biopic. So, they're going to start from the very beginning of Kiss, and they're going to go to Kiss Alive. When Kiss hit their... They're going to go from underground to mainstream to the very beginning of their underground to the
when
very
they made
beginning
it really big
to their breakout, which is Kiss Alive.
That makes sense.
So they're gonna hopefully talk about the assembly of the band, then getting their costumes together, putting on makeup, having fun, creating their own press kits, shopping their band around, setting up their stage, playing these shows for 2 people, 3 people, and then it's going to end with them playing probably Cobo Hall for Kiss Alive, selling out their first gold record, making the greatest live album of all time, and we made it. So it's going to focus on the first, I think, 3 or 4 years of Kiss.
Okay, well that makes sense. I'm really excited to see that. I'm glad that they have a set, era and timeline that they're focusing on. I think that is what makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think it's best to keep it contained. Obviously, I'm someone who is, a huge Kiss fan of the last 20 years. I'm a huge fan of 90s Kiss, Revenge era Kiss. We want to talk about Crazy Nights era Kiss, but it makes the most sense that they would do the formation of the band.
And the most well-known and popular
that is most well-known, it is the most popular, and it's one of the most vital, because without that, there is nothing else.
There's not the rest of it.
So, plus, I wasn't alive back then, so to see this, story that I know and love, to actually be able to watch it, and with my own eyes, in some way, shape, or form, will be really awesome, I think. So I'm going to try and go into that with my, expectations managed, and just enjoy seeing Kiss in some way, shape, or form
portrayed on
TV.
On the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that, because Kiss is going to be, winding down as far as touring, we're going to have a lot more documentaries, biopics, and, different things like that coming out. So, again, if it sucks, it sucks, but I can't say that now because it hasn't happened.
I was saying, we know almost nothing about it so far.
So we'll wait for that review when it comes, but I'm excited to see this stuff happening. It's cool to see it happening. And you mentioned the cast. What would the casting be? I failed to mention that the cast for the Spinning Gold movie got some pretty big stars in it.
Does it?
I know Jason Derulo is in it.
Oh yeah, I remember we watched the trailer and I saw him. Yeah, we've got Jason Isaacs, who I don't know if any of you know, but is in Harry Potter, so that's a big one for me. He's
Who do you play?
Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter.
What?
He's in it.
Dope.
And he's a cast member. Who else we got?
But who's playing Paul Stanley?
Sam Nelson Harris. I don't know either of the actors playing Gene and Paul.
I've heard of Casey Likes. I think he's a new guy.
I've not heard of Casey Likes. Alex Gaskarth is Peter Criss.
Alex Gaskarth is from the band All Time Low.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
He's a well-known musician, and he actually sings Beth on the soundtrack for Spinning Gold.
Oh,
it was just released as a single prior to this.
I need to check that out. I have not heard that.
It's a pretty good version. It's a all new instrumentation. It's the same song, Beth, but it's not the just Destroyer track used over again. They've got a new instrumental. He recorded the lyrics. It's great.
If we have an ace, I am not seeing him at the top of the list here. So
I know Wiz Khalifa's in it. We got Jason Derulo.
Yeah, quite a big.
There are a
big
few
name
people
cast, but it does seem like the main kind of characters, like Neil and Gene and Paul, are not huge name actors, which I personally love, because sometimes, even though those actors are legendary and really talented, sometimes that can be a distraction, especially when they are playing another famous person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I kind of like when they bring either new and up and coming, or just somebody whose face is not as recognizable, like the guy from, you said All Time Low?
Yeah.
Even though obviously he's a successful musician, I couldn't tell you what he looks like.
Right.
So that's pretty cool to see. And I'll have to check out that cover of Beth. That's cool.
Yeah, indeed. So lots of cool stuff happening, including we have another single.
Oh, yes, from Off the Soundboard.
This is the third one they've released.
Mm-hmm.
I Love It Loud.
Yep.
From Poughkeepsie, New York, which actually is coming out in less than a week now.
Oh, so we'll be talking about that next time, too.
That'll be a future episode as well.
Yep.
So lots of exciting stuff happening.
Yes.
But I don't know if they've released 3 singles before for off the soundboard.
Have they not?
I've only known of 2.
Okay.
But maybe I'm missing something. But when they announced a 3rd single, I was like, really? They're really pushing this.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's fine, whatever. But, again, another Gene single, so that's good.
Yes, it was interesting that we got 2 out of 3 of the singles were Gene songs.
And did you listen to it?
I did listen to it. Yeah, no, it was pretty good. I think out of the 3 so far, I think War Machine has been my favorite.
Yep, same.
This is another one that obviously all of the live songs in this time period were very sped up. They were playing really fast.
Yeah.
And it works better on some songs than others. I didn't think it would work too well for I Love It Loud because that is kind of usually a
very paced.
Yeah, it's very paced, slow, not slow, but not that upbeat type of song.
Right.
So it is faster,
it's
but
slow, heavy.
Yes, slow but heavy. But it worked better than I thought it did. I enjoyed it. What I thought was interesting about it, and I don't know, how often Gene does this when performing that song live, but I did notice that in the chorus, the melody has changed a little bit. He kind of keeps it lower. He doesn't go. Let me think of the part real quick.
He thinks of it. He does it lower today, or he does it lower back then.
In the single.
Okay.
Back then, yeah. So instead of like right between the eyes, normally goes up.
Yeah.
But he kind of keeps it down low, and it's interesting.
Okay.
I kind of like it though. It kind of suits the era. It's always cool to hear him put on that demon voice when he's not in demon makeup. That's really fun to me.
Thinking about War Machine, I was like, man, he's got demon voice still.
He is very good at keeping that persona even in non-makeup, and it still somehow works.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I think War Machine, is my personal favorite so far.
Yeah,
but
same.
I still thought it was cool. What did you think?
It's cool hearing, like you said, how the song evolves because, nowadays when they play that, and it's been this way for, a few decades now, but whenever they play that song, it's always, this one, can you sing it?
Yeah.
Well, it goes like this. Well, he's not doing that in the single because they don't know this one quite yet.
Yeah,
they don't know how it goes because he's just now doing it.
It's not that old.
it's funny hearing these earlier versions of I Love It Loud.
Yeah.
When it was still a few years old. Because, you're still seeing the iconic Gene intro kind of come to fruition so that maybe in 10 years on the Revenge Tour or whatever, it's like, yeah, we do know this one.
Right.
We can sing it because it goes like this.
Yeah.
But, hearing almost like the first time. Now, as far as the speed goes, yeah, I actually went and listened to the version of I Love It Loud from one of the shows from the Creatures box that we got.
Okay.
Because that song obviously came off Creatures, so that was the first time it was being played. And I was like, was it being played fast? Was it being played slow? And it was actually very paced on the Creatures tour. And so now on the Animalized tour, it's almost like twice as fast.
It's
almost.
so fast.
It's crazy because you would think that on the Creatures tour it'd be fast.
Yeah.
But no, it was actually pretty well paced. And then only on the Animalized tour when the makeup's off and everything is like, it's new and invigorated.
Yep.
It's just like speed metal almost. But no, I do think it worked really well. It didn't compromise the feel of the song. In fact, it gave it a little bit of extra swagger to it.
No, it was fun.
Because you listen to the song now is very slow.
Right.
Not very slow, but it's very heavy.
Yes.
It's got some crunch to it, but not this one. This one was very fast.
Yeah.
I liked it. I did like it.
I enjoyed it too.
Okay, so one of the topics I have towards the end here is the Final 50 have become the Final 54.
I know. And what I'm excited about is they have added a Detroit date.
They finally added a Detroit date. We actually have, we have 4 new dates. We have Detroit on October 20th. We have Nashville October 23rd. St. Louis October 25th. And Fort Worth October 27th. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the thing that a lot of people were wondering is, like, why in the midst of all these extra dates, you got, like, 6 UK shows, you got 1 more in Indianapolis, but there isn't a Detroit date?
Yeah. I wonder if they listened, because I feel like that's the one thing that everybody was saying when they announced those dates is like, really? No Detroit Rock City?
Yeah, facts. Yeah, and the only thing I could think of is, either they were like, you're right, let's make some phone calls, we'll see if we can get some dates scheduled. Or I'm wondering if maybe these dates were supposed to be in with the other ones, but because of, talking with promoters and venues. They just couldn't finalize those dates quite yet. Or maybe they just wanted the sound of Final, they like the sound of Final 50.
Right, and then add some extra.
And then we'll add 4 more just to, whatever.
Yeah. Those are not part of the 50, they're just bonus.
Yeah, they're just bonus. But I think, unless I'm mistaken, these 4 dates are being added before the 50 dates, or before the final U.S. dates were started. So I know that. So I think the first one was going to be in Texas,
right?
And then this Fort Worth show is also in Texas. So I think it's that Fort Worth show and then that other Texas show was going to be the first date. So they've added 4 more before the start of the final U.S. dates.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just to fill in that market, I guess. But these tickets are selling out incredibly fast.
Yeah.
Including the last 2 shows are all but, if not sold out by now.
Wow.
Which is absolutely crazy. And again, I think there was a late night where I was on Kiss Online and I was clicking through the different shows and just looking at the venues, because you can see the dots.
Yeah, what's left.
And what tickets are being sold and what tickets aren't being sold. And while, there are some that haven't quite filled out yet because these dates aren't until, several months away. I was looking at some of these shows like, these things are almost sold out already.
Wow.
It's March, April, and we have until October, November.
Yeah.
And these tickets are just going like crazy. I mean, the Kiss Army is not playing around. So, again, I highly encourage everybody, if you're on the fence, maybe I will, maybe I won't, just go ahead and do it.
Do it.
Even if you're like us and you get a nosebleed seat up in the top, who cares? I don't want anybody to regret not seeing Kiss.
And you will regret it. Even if you're somebody who hasn't seen them in a long time and didn't think you wanted to or were interested, just do it. Just buy a cheaper ticket. Like you said, nosebleeds. You will not regret it, and I think you probably will regret it if you don't.
I was going to say,
this truly is your last chance.
We're all going to make $100 more in our life. You know what I mean? Just spend $100.
The money will come back.
Yeah, we're going to, and I think that, I'm really hoping that they do something extra special with these shows, as far as whether it's, something new with the stage, maybe a few songs switched out.
I would love to see some set lists, just a couple
even
changes.
If it was one,
right. One or two songs here and there would be really cool.
Yeah.
And even if it changes, throughout this 50 shows, like
something different every night. It's like, I know that Kiss can play all kinds of different songs. I mean, this current lineup has been really good about that.
Absolutely.
They can play stuff from all eras.
And there's songs that we know that they can do that we've seen them do on the cruise or on Soundcheck that we have not seen them do in the main set. And so that's all you got to do is just switch it up. And even, just swap some of those. Just take one of your main set list songs, put it in the Soundcheck, and take the Soundcheck song, put it in the main set.
There you go.
I would love to see it.
Yeah. So I thought it was funny that the Final 50 ended up becoming the Final 54.
Yeah.
But after the first 4 dates, which now that I think about it, I think these shows are kicking back up in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
I think in 2 weeks, Kiss is heading back to, will they be in Europe? I think they'll be in Europe or South America.
Okay.
But I think April 12th is like the first show, and we're already in April, so Kiss will be back on the road very, very shortly. Oh. So after those first 4 shows, it'll be back to the Final 50.
Right.
But they did add some few dates, so if you're somebody who's in St. Louis or Nashville, Detroit, or Fort Worth, congratulations, you just got some tickets to see Kiss.
Yes.
Or at least ideally. So be sure and get those, and then let us know what shows you're going to be seeing. We're going to be in Indianapolis, and if you're going to be in Indianapolis and you see us,
let us
say
know.
Hi.
Yeah, say hi.
Say hi. Maybe we'll be sitting next to you way at the top. I don't know. We'll see. But we're winding down now. We're getting close to the very end, and I don't know if you can see this right here, this little piece of paper that's been chilling there the whole time. But this, I have to show this.
So cool.
This is Volume 1, Issue number 2 of the Kiss Wax Pack fanzine. So I'm not sure what episode it was, but it was several episodes ago. We talked about the first issue of the Kiss Wax Pack. This is a newsletter type fanzine that Rick from the YouTube channel It's All For You Demon has put together himself. And he mails this out to Kiss fans quarterly. This is, again, the spring edition, issue number 2. Issue number 1, I think, is, flip that around, that magazine rack around.
Right down there.
Right down there. So if you want some extra fun in your life and you want some extra cool Kiss content, be sure to get a hold of Rick over at his channel, It's All For You Demon. If you send him a self-addressed stamped envelope, he'll be sure to get you the latest issue, and maybe even the first issue, I don't know, if he has any extra of the Kiss Wax Pack. This is absolutely cool. This is the reason why I'm a Kiss fan.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I like other Kiss fans,
Yes.
is because they do cool stuff like this.
Yeah, highly recommend. We had a blast just sitting here in the Kiss room, looking through this and reading everything he's written. It's awesome.
The first one was about Dynasty, and so it was like an immersive, Dynasty experience. This is Unmasked. I don't know if you can see, but you can see the Kiss combs from 1980, the Australian Kiss combs. Some cutouts from obviously the Unmasked album cover, but yeah, some really cool just little factoids and little nuggets of information about that era in history. Why it was so cool, even though Kiss in the States were kind of winding down, they were just hitting it big in Australia, Kissteria, if you will. And so you've got Wax Tonight. That's obviously a reference to Kiss Meets the Phantom. I won't spoil too much of this because I want you to be able to experience this for yourself. But, for instance, you have, although never declared, Cherry Kool-Aid is the official drink of the Unmasked album. Whip up a batch, play Shandy, and when those ending synths hit, celebrate the sugary glory. Continue the Kool-Aid fun by picking up all flavors of Kiss. Gene, Cherry, Paul, Grape, Ace, Tropical Punch, Peter, Lemon Lime, Eric Carr, Orange. Spring Done Fun. That's just a little sample of the things that you can find in the Kiss Wax Pack. It's super, super fun. It's like about 3 or 4 pages long. He cuts graphics out, pastes them on there, scans them in. It's just super hands-on, super well done, and it's super, super fun. So I had to shout out Rick and showcase the second issue of the Kiss Wax Pack.
Check out his channel as well. It's all 3D. Great channel. And the last thing that we usually do, not always, but the last thing that we usually do around here is I like to open up whatever the latest thing is that the mailman has been so kind enough to give me. So almost always, because he almost always has something new to open.
Almost always. I did say that 2023 was going to be the year where I slowed down. And while that's true, it's not accurate, if that makes sense.
True, but not accurate.
Right? Okay, but anyway, let's see what I got here. Okay, so obviously, I don't know if you can see here, but I've got the Guitar Hero Suite with me. This is a new edition. It's actually, I didn't realize the faceplate was fainted. But either way, who cares? This, I think, is from the Xbox. I don't have an Xbox anyway. This is a Guitar Hero control. Yes, Xbox. A Guitar Hero controller with the Kiss Love Gun faceplate on it. Why did I buy this? Because I actually have the guitar. I should have got this out. The Guitar Hero case.
Oh yeah.
The guitar case, not the hard one, but the soft one. And I never had a guitar to put in it. It actually only is big enough to fit a Guitar Hero guitar. And I've never had one with the Kiss faceplate on it. I have 2 Kiss faceplates in the box, but no, Kiss Museum was selling this, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get this because it's going to go perfectly with my Kiss Guitar Hero guitar case. And I also own everything else in the Kiss Guitar Hero line,
a whole collection back here.
Might as well add to it. I'm trying to think, am I missing anything at this point? I don't know. We'll have to see. There's always something new.
Yeah.
Every time I think I'm done or I've completed something in my collection, there's always one more item.
Yeah.
But that's just the fun of being a Kiss collector and being a Kiss fan. But anyway, so that's one item that I received recently. Can't wait to put that in the guitar case. Now this, give me just a second on this. I have to be extremely careful with this because this...
Do I know what this is?
Yes.
Okay, I've forgotten.
But
this is always like Christmas for me too because I've forgotten everything he's ordered, especially because he always sets it aside for a long time until we film.
And I don't think we will ever see this ever again. So I will do my best to explain it.
Whoa, this is bigger than I thought it would be.
Yes, this is huge. So
wow.
I will do my best to explain it as best as I can. This is an all-coin office Kiss calendar from 1978. So obviously there would be a lot of these, probably about that thick, if you will. And then every week you would, rip these off and throw it in the trash. And you say, what? Throw it in the trash? Yes, throw it in the trash because these were never, ever sold.
Right, these were just for office members,
yes,
right?
These were only for Casablanca / Alcoin, whatever office employees only. These were
so
never
cool.
Made for retail. That's why there's only one, because again, you can imagine somebody in their office would have this above their desk.
Yeah, just write all their meetings and to-dos.
Not a KISS fan, but just an employee, and they would have this above their desk. They would make notes on it, write all over it, scribble things out, and then when that week was over, you tear it off, you crumple it up, you throw it away.
And I wonder, I'm just now thinking of this, but I wonder if they had, on different weeks, if they had different artists, or if it was all KISS, you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
I wonder if maybe each week it was something new, so these might be even more rare.
Yeah, so you're saying, instead of KISS solo album, it could have been,
the Village People or whatever.
Village People, it could have been some other artist from Casablanca.
Yeah.
Very true. I have no idea. This is the only one I've ever seen. If you have seen this, or maybe you have a full calendar version, let me know, because this is the kind of stuff that is just really, really cool to see, really, really cool to show off.
It's awesome.
I can tell it's super rare because obviously these were never made for retail. I mean, you have a 6-inch gash in the back. I don't know if you can see, it's been taped up, so it's been ripped. It's old, but it's super, super cool.
78 through 80.
78 through 80. Dates at the bottom, but so this is something that an office employee would mark up and write their notes on, their dates, their meetings, and then throw it in the trash. But somehow one survived, and it is here with me. I got this piece of paper for under $100, which I'm pretty satisfied with. I mean, who knows? This is the kind of stuff that you just don't know what this stuff goes for. Dude, there's on KISS Museum right now, it'll be over by the time this goes up. Actually, no. You may check KISS Museum if you're watching this on the Sunday that it was uploaded, because I'm pretty sure on KISS Museum there's a Halloween mask, an Ace Frehley Spaceman Halloween mask sealed in the box from 78.
Whoa.
That is going for over $600 right now. Ridiculous.
That's insane.
There is a luggage tag from KISS's KISS's Japan tour in 77, that only a few of them exist. And this little itty bitty luggage tag from 77 right now is over $400.
Wow.
And I'd be lying if I say I didn't bid on it, but $400, you can have it.
No.
You can have it. $600, you can take that Halloween mask. I'll stick with my Sonic Boom Halloween mask.
There you go.
For $25. Thank you very much. But I was able to get a really cool piece of Kisstory, vintage Kisstory.
That is very cool.
To add to my collection. And I wanted to show this to you all. I love showing my collection to you. I know some people are very particular about their collection, what they have, what they show, and are more reserved, but that's not how we roll around here.
We love KISS Show and Tell.
I love KISS Show and Tell. I love when people show their stuff.
Yeah.
And it's part of the fun. I mean, around here, we've in the past, we'll take things off the shelves, we'll open up stuff. We get very engaged, very interactive around here. So I love showing people, what the latest additions of my KISS collections are. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you're a KISS collector, what you've been getting recently. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here for episode, 47 of the KISS or Anythings podcast. We're getting slowly but surely approaching the 50th episode. Not that there's anything different about that than the rest before, but it's just
a milestone, though. It's something to be celebrated.
It's a milestone, absolutely. Either way, it's just always fun to sit here and talk KISS with my wife, with all the people out there. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel. That's how we know that you like the content that we're bringing to you.
Yep.
It helps our channel grow. Keeps bringing more people in. And then if you're on Facebook and Instagram, be sure to follow us there and like us on Facebook and Instagram. We're posting all kinds of KISS content pretty much every single day for you to enjoy. That's all we want to do, is just entertain you and bring you the same happiness that KISS has brought us, and just sharing it together as a group. There has been no shortage of fun in KISS over the last 50 years. For me personally, 25. I've been involved in KISS for pretty much right at the halfway mark now, but it's been the greatest ever. I'm so happy that we get to sit here and just talk about the music, the merch, and our memories, the music, all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Daphne, do you have any final thoughts as we're wrapping up here?
Not really. Just thanks again for hanging out with us, and like you said, just sharing the positive
Go
Kiss
see
vibes.
Spinning Gold.
Yes, and let us know what your thoughts are. We'll share ours as soon as we see it.
Get the Poughkeepsie off the soundboard.
Yes.
The first soundboard with Mark St. John, the only soundboard recording that we have of Mark St. John. More Eric Carr official content. We have a Kiss biopic coming. I mean, we're going to see Kiss this year. I cannot think of any reason
Things are not
to
slowing
not
down.
be happy.
Right.
I can't think of any reason
We are well
to
fed
be
as
happy
Kiss fans.
as Kiss fans. Yeah, we are being well fed, and I'm sure Kiss has plenty more in stock for us. But anyway, just want to thank everybody for joining. Thank you, Rick, for the wax pack.
Yes.
And we will see you all on episode 48 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
Peace.
See ya.